Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this one is about these two black ESP MIRAGEs from the 80s, custom and deluxe, and why they are so important to me. We're going back in time. Alright, year is 1990. This one was from 86, but it has a role in this story and my development as a guitar player. I started to play 89, I have it tattooed here. And I met this guy, Andy, in I think it was 89 or 90, or maybe we met before, I don't remember. But we both skateboarded and we both played guitar. Andy had started a few years earlier than me, and he teach me a lot. He actually teach me how to play this song properly. So what happened is he lived in Kannelmäki, I lived in Malminkartano, neighborhoods in Helsinki suburb. And I skateboarded to Andy's place. I had my small area combo amp on my skateboard, my guitar on my hand. I didn't have a bag, or however I carried them. Went to Andy and we played. We played hours, and then we skateboarded and played some more guitar. So my first guitar was a Landola, cheap nylon string acoustic. After 6 months, my father, thank you, bought me Area Pro 2 guitar. That's picture there. That's probably the only picture of that guitar. That's me and Andy in the summer of 1990. We're 14. You know, you do the math. I'm a bit older now, but nothing really has changed. I still love and play guitar. I do skateboarding occasionally, like we did on that day, you know. So the reason why I wanted that guitar, because of I was a big fan, and still I am, Anthrax, Scott Ian, James Hetfield were my guys when I started. I wanted to play chunky rhythm. I wasn't that interested in lead playing. Anyway, went to the store. I saw this guitar. To me, it was ESP, this deluxe or the custom. Well, later I found it out that it was actually M1 that Scott Ian was using mostly, the nut guitar and the Judge Dredd guitar. But to me that was Scott Ian guitar. Obviously I knew it's not you know, as good. It was cheap, really cheap Area Pro, but I played that guitar for a couple of years. I learned to play with that guitar, like really. So that was the reason I wanted that, because Scott Ian. Yeah, and that riff, when I went to Andy's, I played the riff like. And I was like, why this doesn't sound? Because you remember, kids, no internet, nothing then, all by ear, some tablets or books if we were lucky. And I was just like, why? And Andy said that you need to palm mute. I was like, what is palm mute? You put your palm here and you mute. I was like, ah, that's the way you get the sound. So, you know, with palm muting, I've gone a long way, so I'll forever thank you, Andy. You know, it's great. So these two black ESPs, the Custom Deluxe and the M1, I have a pink M1. That's been my always in somewhere that someday I will have those real guitars and I will play them live, like Scott Ian. Now I finally have these after 30 something years. Well, I could afford these. So I played with the Mirage a lot with CYHRA. This one I haven't played. This I bought it just not so long ago, and I modified these. I'm gonna go into the details, but first this thing. Last summer, 2023, we met again with Andy. I mean, we met during the years, not so much. I mean, probably last time was like, I don't know, 15 years ago. And it was like we've never been apart. You know, we played guitar, we laughed, we skated. And Andy's parents, they live in that same place. So what we did, it was old school. We laughed because I didn't have a case for that guitar. Or I had, but it was a multi-case case. So when I went to Andy, I carried it in my hand like old days. And Andy carried his Stratocaster and his skateboard like old days, you know, punk rock, no cases. Man, it was fun. Andy's parents were there. Andy's fiancée took the picture, which originally was took by Andy's mom. So here's the two pictures, 33 years apart. You know, we haven't aged that much. Andy has now a real Stratocaster, because on the picture he had a Marina Stratocaster, which was a cheap copy. Now I have real ESPs, which in the original picture I had a cheap Area Pro copy. And Andy's mom wrote in the back of that picture that two future rock stars. Andy laughed at. Well, Ma, you got half of it right. Andy still is a great player. He plays guitar, drums, keyboards, you name it, in several bands in Helsinki. But that's not his main profession. But he's really good. You know, it should be. But he has pursued other career like in his life. So yeah, this is the reason I'll be doing several videos about this guitar, because I'm so excited, because you know the feeling when you're a 14-year-old kid and you dream that someday hopefully I could have that guitar and maybe even play a show with that, and maybe even if someone would come and listen and see, and you know, all of those things have happened, which I'm very grateful of. So that's the story. Black ESP with the lawsuit headstock. That's been the guitar to me. Obviously, you know, my signature Les Pauls, because I'm mostly known to play Les Pauls. But I've always played Super Strats and stuff, but I haven't had these guitars, and these are so good. So that was the story. Like, yeah, imagine how good it feels when I finally have these great guitars. And let's go through the specs now. How these differs, because they look really similar, but there's small differences. So both have maple neck. This is a neck through, the custom. The Deluxe is your basic bolt-on neck, and as you can see, no paint. Both have really nice lacquer. It's not sticky. Both have ebony fingerboards. The custom has 24 frets, the Deluxe 22. I believe these are the original frets, because this guitar is pretty much mint. All the scratches you might see, I made them, you know, because these, these are for playing, not for hanging on the wall and, you know, being careful. Of course, you need to take good care of them, but, you know, so yeah, I think these are original frets. They're in pretty good shape. They're jumbos, kind of like medium jumbos now, so at some point I need to change them. And these had the same threads originally, but now this has a stainless steel threads, which were replaced by the previous owner. And thank you, Nick, again for selling me this fantastic guitar. And these both had a Sinclair trems, ESP Sinclair trems, and ESP's own pickups. I have changed EMG 81 to bridge to both, and 2 S pickups here, and this one has 85. This came, when I bought this, with 85, no 85, SA neck pickup, single coil. So this came with 85 bridge. I don't like 85 on the bridge. I put 81 there. And this SA is the single coil. It's a bit harder than this S. So S single coil is ceramic, SA is Alnico and a bit harder. And then I changed to this one, original Floyd Rose from one of my older guitars, and a EVH drop tuner. And this one has a shallow Lockmeister. I actually changed this recently because I realized that even though this has the cavity here, so it's kind of mounted, I could fit in the Lockmeister, which is original Floyd. Like, if you know, because Floyd Rose, the guy used to work at Schaller, where he developed Floyd Rose, and then most Americans started to sell the Schaller bridge under the Floyd Rose name, and it became really popular. But the Lockmeister is, the Schaller is the original. And they are exactly the same. So, because I've blocked these both with FU tones, big brass block, noiseless springs, the claw, and then the stopper. These come a little bit, you know, outside of here, and I managed to install a drop tuner here too, which is great. Volume here, the worst place ever. When I play, my hand is like here. I can't have anything here, it's on my way. So this came originally with volume, tone, 5-way pickup switch. I removed the volume to here and threw away the tone, so there's no tone, 1 volume, 5-way pickup switch. And I guess I'm not the only one, because the previous owner did the same. So, but this, because I have here just the plastic cover, he had really, you can kind of see in a right angle that the whole hole's been, you know, filled. So again, volume from here to here, and then there's also, this is a aftermarket, this is a pickup booster. Works quite well with the single coil, a little bit too much with 81, and 3-way pickup switch. And this is mounted. This one, the custom is on top, but I've seen pictures from old ESP catalogs. I put pictures in there where this one is also top mounted, and then I've seen not pictures, actually real guitars, and played with customs, had the cavity too, so they were like mounted in the cavity. But this one, it sits on top without the block. You could do a little upboard thing, but not much, because it sits on the top. With this one, without the block, you could actually do a bit more, because there's the cavity. I needed to carve a little bit out from here, because this cavity was obviously shaped for a Sinclair bridge, which is a little different, you know, shape. About the radiuses, to me these feel like 305mm 12-inch. There's not that much info around. Some people have measured these to be closer to 16, but these feel really close to my signature Eclipses, which are 12-inch. But what I do on all of my Floyd guitars, because I like to have a 10-inch nut and 12-inch bridge. So R2, 12-inch nut, and then there's a shim under, so thin metal plate under the 4 center strings. If you take that out, the bridge becomes, Floyd becomes, or the Lockmeister becomes a 16-inch. But this way, I have the the center strings a bit higher here, so I can easily do bends here without the strings going under my fingers. I don't like that. I'm a big bender. Big bender. I like to do a lot of bends, and I prefer especially the center strings a bit higher. It also helps sustain. And then because this is 12-inch, it smoothens, flattens gradually, because these aren't compound radiuses like many modern guitars, you know, 12 to 16 inch. This is, to me, these both feel like 12-inch all the way, but with a 10-inch nut and the 12-inch bridge, it's kind of like a compound. This guitar I bought from a private person, but this one I bought from a Music Locker from UK, a great store, really fast service, good communication, because I asked a few questions about this guitar, and they shipped it like, I think it was on like a same day or next day, really well packed. They have cool stuff in there, so they have also a reverb page, so check that out. I'll put a link in there. So thank you, Music Locker, for it was a pleasure being your customer, and if you happen to have these in the future, you know, you don't know what happens. I really love these 80s and Mirages. So those are the similarities and differences. Sound-wise, they do sound a bit different, because in general, if you have a bolt-on neck, it's a bit brighter. And let me play you some riffs with the JCM800. So the single channel guitar, then pedal board. I'm gonna use SD1 and C5 chorus into KH audio amp switcher. Then the bad boy JCM800 from '84. Then for completely cleans, I'm gonna use 80A MP1 solid state clean channel into Marshall JCM2000 TSL's power amp. So effect loop return. And the cabinet I'm using is my old Marshall vintage cabinet with Marshall vintage speakers. And what you hear is there's 4 mics, but they're like summed together as 2 pairs. So the pair that is the loudest is the Sennheiser E906 and MD421. Then I blended in 2 SM57s in the Fredman style. And then they both hit to Warm Audio's WA412 mic pre, and then into Logic. And there's 4 mics, but only 2 signals are, you know, going in, because I've summed them already there. So let me put this to drop, because this is in D/drop C. The custom is in C/drop B flat, which is the CYHRA tuning, and I'm gonna play something in the key of C. So cool. So that was the Deluxe, you know, SD1 on there, and then similar riff, whatever I played, but now since this is standard C, I need to finger it differently. But listen if you can hear the difference. Both have new strings, DR strings. This is 12 to 60, the other is 10 to 56. quickly the Deluxe. I don't know how well it translates to you, but this is clearly to me has a more bite, more spank, not quite as much low end because of the bolt-on neck, because the Custom has a neck through, which it really resonates. Both I think are great. This just has a little bit more kind of bite to it, which is typical difference between a bolt-on and neck through or set necks. Okay, so that was that. Then let's play some lead stuff first with this, and then hopefully maybe you hear something. I'm gonna play. Let's put this to standard. Now this is in standard G. Good old Goodbye to Romance by Randy Rhoads. Cool. Then with the Custom, now they're gonna be in different key, because I'm not that fast transposer, so I could transpose this whole solo to match the key. So this is a bit lower. G-string was a little bit out of tune. So hopefully here also on this example that the tuning makes now the difference, because lower tuning, you know, different sound, different waveform, more low end. But again, the Deluxe has a bit more bite, where this is really like full and chunky. Let's put this same key, so drop. So open C both, you know, this is just bite here. Okay, then let's switch to ADA clean with chorus and the neck pickup, so you hear those differences too. Let's just play something. Add a bit of volume. Okay, so that was EMG SA, and now this one. Let me see if I can transpose one key higher. This is one step lower. You hear that more kind of strat-like, even though this is a little bit darker in general than the Deluxe, but there's still, because of the S pickup, it's a bit more vintagey like Strat pickup. The SA to me is kind of like more modern, not as Strat spanky, almost in a cross between humbucker and single coil. But this is definitely like that glassy single coil. Okay, then let's move back to Marshall and play some lead notes, so you hear the differences in the output as well. So let's take the SD off. This middle pickup I put just really low, so it's even cleaner. It's live, I use only one channel, one amp, so I do a lot of stuff with volume and different pickups. Okay, then this. Here, more output, more almost in that goes into the humbucker territory. You know, 81. Let's say. There's still that Strat thing, but you know, not as stratty as the S. And with the gain boost, you know, you get these kind of like Les Paul glassy neck pickup things. Those are the differences between the custom and the deluxe, and I must say that the ESP really got it right in the 80s with these Mirages. Absolutely one of my all-time favorite guitars. Obviously, I love my signatures too, you know, so you can buy these from a Japan custom shop, but you need to go via their Finnish representative or distributor called Musamaailma. I'll put the email there. So yeah, these are the best Les Pauls I've ever played, made exactly at my specs. I haven't changed anything to them when they came from the factory, because they are exactly like I want. And these Mirages, the Deluxe and the Custom and the M1 from the 80s, these are the best Super Strats I've ever played. The new ones are great, absolutely fantastic too, the custom shops. I've tried, I've actually recorded most of the CYHRA's No Hells in Hell rhythm guitars with the Horizon, new Horizon, but I don't like the headstock. I like these headstocks. So even though I'm endorsed, I've actually bought these because they don't make these anymore. So yeah, that was that. Hopefully you found this interesting and informative. I'll put links in the description below to Musamaailma and to a couple of ESP's, well, their official website, and also some historic websites where there's info about the Mirage series guitars, the serial numbers, because, you know, they don't make much sense. This has the New York, you know, 48th Street custom shop neck plate, but here it's just made in Japan, so go figure. And the custom doesn't have a serial number at all. No, there's no serial number here, not here, not under the pickups. No serial number. Why? Don't ask me. But it's either 87 or 88. Alright, now, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye.